story starts with a homeless teenager called Koshi. He is starving on the street, and a girl called Minoru takes him home, provides him with food, and arranges for him to go to the bath first to relax embarrassed. When Koshi goes to the bathroom, he sees 3 girls. Koshi quickly runs out, only to bump into Etna, the girl who has just returned home. This place turns out to be the goddess dormitory of a women's university, shared by 5 girls: Kiria, Flay, Serene, Minoru, and Etna. After learning that Koshi has no place to live, Minoru takes the initiative to invite Koshi to Beth's dorm mother. The other girls have no objections, but Etna firmly opposes it. Minoru explains to Koshi that Etna is a special girl who faints with nosebleeds when she touches a boy. Koshi doesn't want to make it hard for Etna and tells Etna that he can leave. Afterward, Etna feels guilty, especially after seeing that Koshi can only sleep on a park bench. She immediately carries Koshi back to the dormitory. Etna faints with nosebleeds from touching Koshi, but at least both of them make it to the dormitory safely. In this way, Koshi becomes the dorm mother, responsible for cleaning the entire dormitory, including the girls' room. As a researcher, Minoru usually dresses casually in the dormitory, which makes Koshi feel awkward and has to leave quickly. Later, he is caught by Flay in the room and is dressed as a cat lady. He learns that Flay is a cosplay enthusiast who not only likes to roleplay herself, but also loves to get others dressed up, and now Koshi has to help Flay measure her figure. Before Koshi could finish his work, Minoru suddenly drags them out. It turns out that Minoru's experiment fails, resulting in toxic gases in the dormitory. According to Flay, people have long been used to this kind of odd thing. Koshi is angry that girls don't feel guilty about bothering others, but after scolding Minoru and Flay, he regrets it and flees into the street. Before Koshi could change out of his cat lady's costume, people are taking pictures of him. After this incident, Koshi takes advantage of the cold weather to send blankets to girls, and takes the initiative to reconcile with Minoru and Flay, saying that he just wants to do his best as the dorm mother. Minoru and Flay understand Koshi very well and thank him for his dedication to the dormitory and hug him tightly. Etna, who has just returned, can't help but spew nosebleeds again when she sees this scene. Later, Etna declares to the others that since there is a boy in the dormitory, everyone's dress code should be more standardized. From today, she will serve as an inspector. Koshi tries to sleep at night, but isn't interrupted by Kiria, who breaks the ceiling and falls on top of his face. She apologizes for doing so and reveals that she likes shoujo manga. Koshi starts to worry as he witnesses how powerful Kiria becomes when she is excited by such stories. Then things become even more awkward when Kiria asks to sleep in Koshi's room for the night. He reluctantly agrees, but instantly regrets it when Kiria remembers her past with her brothers and playfully wrestles with them. Koshi becomes frustrated and runs away to Kiria's room, so that he can get some peaceful sleep. However, Serene arrives to ask for a midnight snack and realizes that Kiria has been switched out. She orders Koshi to become her slave. He agrees while still not completely conscious. Serene seals the deal with the kiss and fixes all the damage to the walls and ceiling. The next day, Koshi makes a delicious meal for everyone and all the girls start flirting with him. So Etna becomes conscious. Now Koshi decides to go buy some groceries and Etna also volunteers to come along. However, Minoru teases her again by making things awkward. After pushing Koshi into her, now the couple visits the store and gets the supplies, after which they bond for a bit. However, Etna bumps into some men and her nose is about to leak due to her condition. So, Koshi rescues his maiden by also calling her Big Sis. This seems to excite Etna, so she makes her boy toy repeat the same word to her again. It only leads to a comedy of errors filled with accidental touching. They come back home, but Koshi is teased by the girls, so Etna uses her Fuki weapons to control their desires. Now the other girls want Koshi to call them Big Sis as well, and his life becomes more difficult. Some time passes by. After washing the clothes of the girls, Koshi is sitting around wondering whether the girls get vacations from college or not. Koshi remembers how he wanted to get a job to return to school while appreciating the weather. Later on, hence the call the girl down as he had prepared breakfast. The whole Big Sis thing is still kicking and Etna is still not able to pat Koshi's head due to her condition. Seeing Etna stick close to Koshi starts off a competition among the ladies about who is the best sister, and Frey jumps in first to dress Koshi as a little sister. Minoru is thinking about doing some experiments on Koshi and Serene just lays in his lap as she was too hungry to even bother. Koshi gets knocked by Kiria as she is trying some wrestling moves on him, and he wakes up to appreciate the love of an older sister that he's getting at his dorm as the Golden Week was just around the corner. Minoru surprises Koshi by getting him admitted back to school, once again leaving the kid extremely grateful. A week later, Koshi finally returns to a school life, and he even appreciates small things like his own shoe locker. Things are not all that pleasant upon Koshi's return as his childhood friend Sudia greets him with a dropkick. So, Sudia is angry at Koshi for suddenly disappearing without any contact, and even though she acts all cocky around him, deep down she keeps regretting behaving around Koshi like that. Koshi wanted to make up with Sudia as soon as possible, But he had to deal with a lot of people at school, as everyone, even the teachers, were sad at how tough life had been for Koshi during these past few weeks. In the meantime, Surya had gone to the school rooftop, where she reveals how she has heat-sensitive skin and remembers how she became friends with Koshi back in preschool, as he was considerate enough to cool his hands before touching hers. A little while later, Koshi joins Surya on the roof as well, and the two make up, when Koshi shows the same consideration, this time again by bringing some ice packs. The guy mentions how he is staying at a dorm with college girls, and that raises a new problem, as now, for some odd reason, Surya wanted to check up on the dorm and make sure it is safe. After school hours, Aetna returns home to be welcomed by a grumpy Surya, who keeps staring at her. Koshi introduces her to the rest, and the girls find it interesting, assuming that Surya has a crush on Koshi. Surya, however, was fixated to act like Koshi's mom, and she decides to start off her inspection by having a look around the rooms in the dorm. Koshi's room was pretty normal and everything was seeming right, until Minoru opened her door, and the signs of her latest experiment made Surya go on high alert. Frey's room was pretty normal at the beginning, but that only increased Surya's worried. Later on as well, Aetna's completely normal room made Surya calm down, but she instead got jealous. After seeing how Koshi is appreciating the simplicity of Aetna's room, the inspection had taken a lot of time, so Surya is offered to stay over, and she decides to sleep with Aetna in her room. The stay does not end well, when both Aetna and Kirya are not able to tell what exactly are their relationships with Koshi, and that makes Surya run away after getting upset. It's been a few days. Kirya and Aetna are always in daze. They even forget to bring their lunch to school. Koshi remembers that they said that they couldn't eat out because they didn't have money on the day. The two receive their allowances tomorrow according to the school schedule. They can't go home until the evening. They might not be able to endure the whole day without lunch. So, Frey tells them to bring their lunch to school for them, knowing it's an all-girl school. Frey has an idea. Koshi will cosplay as a girl in order to get into the school, and as soon as he enters, he now can hide his outstanding look from the crowd. When the girls approach and talk to Koshi, they find out that he's a boy, but they don't care much. If he wanted, they would take him out for a date. They keep following him, so he has to think of a way to get out of there, as Aetna is currently have an economics class. He runs straight to it, and just when he reaches the corner, he hits two girls and immediately apologizes to them. Figuring out he is a boy, the girls can't hide their excitement. Fortunately, Aetna class ended it just in time. She goes out and sees Koshi's situation. To save him, Aetna quickly drags him out of the crowd. He explains everything to Aetna. Apart from her lunch, he also brings Kirya as lunch. Aetna then takes him to Kirya's place. Aetna keep walking without looking around, so she bumps into Kirya and a bucket of water spills on them. The girls have to get changed. Koshi decides to wait outside, but the girls earlier follow him to this place. Seeing that, Aetna tells him to stay here as he's Aetna's little sister today, so there's nothing to be ashamed of. But he has to turn his face away by the time the two of them had finished changing. He's quite shocked to see Aetna wearing Kirya's clothes. Because the shirt is too small, the button bounces away and shoots straight in his face. Aetna comes to check on Koshi, only to find that the button on her shirt isn't there anymore. So, Aetna gets a nosebleed and faints. When they return to the dorm, Aetna wants to invite everyone to go on a trip together. If possible, Aetna would like Koshi to invite Surya to come with him. Serene has a strange reaction to their plan to go on a vacation. After discussing the trip, Koshi goes to Serene's room to invite her. He doesn't know what Serene's room is like, opening the door to check it out. The whole room is full of trash. As soon as he enters, the shelf falls down and Serene also falls on top of him. He wonders why she left the trash in her room. She just needs to ask and he will clean it up right away. However, those aren't garbage. Everything in this room is a tool that uses technology from the moon to absorb power. He doesn't understand what she's saying, but when she mentioned the moon, he remembers the night Serene was in his room. He then asks Serene if she'd ever stopped by Kirya's room. The night he slept in there, she doesn't deny anything. So, it wasn't a dream. Serene knows Koshi's here because of the trip, and actually Serene doesn't hate it. But Serene's safe zone is limited from the dormitory to the school. Serene has never stepped outside of that zone, so she's quite nervous. The power of the moon in this area is quite large, so it brings a sense of peace. He tells everyone about it and they start to think of a way to help Serene. Now they just need to find something that Serene considers segments and give it to her. Everyone will create a portable safe zone that Serene can carry. The next day at school, Koshi comes over to have a small talk with Surya and finds out that she's kind of strange. Summer is coming, so it's quite hot. He takes out 2 cold wet wipes and puts them on Surya's cheeks to bring her back. After school, he invites Surya to go on a trip with him and the girls at the dorm. Surya immediately agrees to go along. But Surya only comes to monitor. She won't let any shady actions happen. Meanwhile, Frey has made a moon-related outfit, the Sailor Moon cosplay costume. Just thinking about Serene cosplaying is enough to make Frey excited. However, for Serene, cosplaying in public is against the fine customs. Seeing Frey looking sad, Minoru tells her to leave everything to her with her knowledge. Minoru makes an extremely strong alcohol to seduce Serene. No woman could resist with just one sniff. However, Minoru accidentally lets Frey smell that she is so drunk that she can no longer control her actions. That evening, when she has just got home, Koshi sees Kiria and Serene practicing Tai Chi. It is a martial arts related to yin and yang and the universe. The moon is an entity of the universe, so maybe it can help Serene gain more strength. However, originally Serene is the moon, so the power of the universe is too great for her to handle. Koshi is about to take out something when Frey comes out wearing a Sailor Moon costume and Minoru joins her in this game. At this time, Aetna also shows up. She takes out an umbrella and gives it to Serene. Aetna painted the moon and stars inside that umbrella. After receiving it, Serene agrees to travel with everyone. After a while, everyone embarks on a vacation trip to the sea. Since Aetna has booked the wrong hotel, everyone can only stroll around the mountain first. The ancestral hall on the mountain emits strange energy, which frightens Kiria into Koshi's arms. Seeing the scene, Surya gets so angry that she keeps hitting Koshi. During the night, Koshi and Minoru both notice Aetna sneaking out of the room and go out together to check, only to get separated. Later, Koshi finds Aetna, who comes to the toilet alone. To make matters worse, a girl with an umbrella suddenly appears, scaring them into hiding in a side room. Aetna has feelings for Koshi that cannot be described in words, but now they are in the same room and she almost breaks out. Just then, Minoru's appearance interrupts them, and Koshi realizes that the girl with an umbrella was just Serene. After a false alarm, the girls go to the seaside to play, while Koshi observes the girls with a telescope on the beach, performing his dorm mother duty. Koshi doesn't expect Surya is attacked by fish and drowned. He has to ask Kiria to save Surya since he can't swim at all. When everyone learns of this, they praise Koshi's bravery. After hearing Aetna compliment, Koshi recalls the event of last night and hurries off the beach on the ground of buying a drink. Kiria and Surya also take the opportunity to mend their relationship, and Surya also takes the initiative to reveal a secret. It turns out that Koshi's first love was a kindergarten teacher, so Surya especially remains the same hairstyle as the kindergarten teacher. Frey on the side gets a little excited when she hears the news, and the heat around her makes Surya faint. Aetna sees the situation and hurriedly goes to the supermarket to buy some ice. At this time, two men try to forcibly take Aetna away. Luckily, Koshi arrives in time to stop them. When they return to the beach, Aetna thanks Koshi for giving her a family-like feeling to make her feel safe. Instead of showing joy, Koshi looks strange, and his state stays the same even after the trip. Minoru and Frey soon notice Koshi's strange behavior and decide to help Koshi. Frey takes Koshi to the cosplay club and constantly interrogates Koshi during the cosplay. Under her pressure, Koshi finally tells the truth. However, he does not give Aetna a name, seeing that Koshi doesn't know how to deal with feelings that cannot be described in words. Frey encourages him to face the reality and figure out what he really thinks. In the end, with Frey's help, Koshi succeeds in clearing the doubts in his mind. The Winter Seiken Festival arrives at the girls' college. Koshi also attends the festival alongside Surya, and they are welcomed in by Frey, who was a member of the festival management. Frey decides to waste no time in taking the kids around, and they first visit a creepy tent, where Minoru is selling her home remedies for a boost in testosterone. The conversation, when Minoru does not go all that long as she heads out for the evil scheme. She had prepared her remedies for while on her way. Minoru drops one of her bottles in Koshi's back without him noticing it. Frey takes the kids further to have a visit at the theater club's performance. Serene was a part of this performance, and seeing Serene get chased gave Koshi a little anxiety. They move out to witness the problem Minoru's remedy had caused him. Before, Koshi would have lost self-respect. The day is saved by Serene, who arrives to fix the situation with her lunar laser beam. Serene ends up depleted of energy, and she is brought to the infirmary where a snack from Frey heals her back. The adventure moves to Aetna's class, where they had been running a maid cafe. Aetna was also a cute maid, but seeing so many guys created a lot of problems for her. Despite her medical condition, Aetna still tries her best to change herself for Koshi, and realizing that makes both Aetna and Koshi blush, since Surya had been showing an interest in cute maid dresses. Frey helps her switch places with Aetna, and the others let Aetna have some time alone with Koshi. The pair head over to see Kiria, who leaves everyone in awe with her immaculate performance in the cross-dress competition. Kiria meets up with Aetna and Koshi backstage, but before the meeting up, Koshi had drank from the bottle that Minoru dropped in his back earlier. The formula was to bring out a person's true nature, and drinking it makes Koshi extremely excited. About visiting a game maze, both Aetna and Kiria notice that Koshi is actually acting his age. This time and later on, when he is with Minoru again, Koshi comes to know how the bottle was just filled with water, and that whatever he did was of his own accord. Koshi and crew move back to the cafe, finding Surya enjoying her time as a sadistic maid. This year's festival concludes on a chaotic note, but with everyone having a fun time. Christmas comes, and Kiria receives the task of returning to the dojo alone, this year to run the Christmas event there. Thankfully, Koshi and Aetna offer to help. According to the plan, they are going to shop for gifts the next morning. But, while cleaning the room, Koshi accidentally bumps into Aetna after taking a shower, causing Aetna to have a nosebleed. Kiria has to go to the mall with Koshi. The two have a fun time together, which gives Kiria the illusion that she is dating Koshi for a while. On Christmas Day, the same thing happens again. Since Aetna is unable to move, Kiria has to take Serene instead and go to the dojo with her for Christmas events. After they arrive at the dojo, Koshi dresses up as a Christmas reindeer and hands out gifts to the children. When Koshi learns that one of the little girls is afraid to take the gift because she has the worst grades, Koshi says to the little girl that if she works hard, she would get the gift and also gives her a special medal. In this way, the three spend a happy Christmas with the children. Later, Koshi also gives Kiria a gift. Kiria gets overwhelmed, but the appearance of Serene interrupts all this. Now the girls get a kotsu table and Koshi is overjoyed to see it. Kiria tries to put Koshi on her lap and then all the girls mess around with each other under the table. It's time to discuss some homework. So, Koshi decides to invite Surya, but it makes Aetna upset. Surya acts cool at first, but eventually drops by and starts solving math problems without Koshi. It becomes very comfy, so the both of them pass out. But Surya wake up for playful touching. Aetna spots the lovers together, so Surya beats up Koshi mercilessly. The other girls arrive and then Koshi has to save Serene from her own room, and it becomes too loaded. Later Koshi, Surya and Aetna carry out some spring cleaning, and then they access the secret entrance that leads to Minoru's fancy lab. Eventually, Serene's room is opened up and we learn that she was stacking up on presents for everyone. Later, Minoru gets drunk with Serene and Aetna, after which they all pounce on Koshi. Aetna wants to express her emotions to him, but passes out before doing so. That's when Surya witnesses everything and thrashes him. The new year is approaching, and the girls are staying in the dormitory for various reasons, which makes Koshi very happy. He always thought he is going to celebrate the new year alone. For the celebration, Koshi is ready to go out to buy some supplies. Aetna can't accompany Koshi because her knitting gloves are not finished yet. She can only watch Kiria go out with Koshi. While shopping, Koshi suddenly faints and frightens Kiria. Koshi has a fever due to a cold and the girls decide to let Koshi rest well and help him recover. Surya also rushes to the dormitory when she hears the news. Concerned about Koshi's situation, she takes the initiative to check Koshi's temperature, but because Koshi's body temperature is too high, she faints right away. Minoru and Aetna have to take Surya aside to rest. Unexpectedly, Frey has already laid down next to Koshi and wants to take good care of Koshi. Kiria then brings a glass of juice that looks terrible. Aetna accidentally has intimate interaction with Koshi to stop Koshi from drinking the glass of juice, and then she blacks out of bleeding too much. After that, except for Aetna and Surya, who pass out and need to rest, the other girls take care of the household. Koshi sweats too much because of a nightmare and wants to take a shower. Kiria is responsible for the laundry, but she can't help but secretly smell Koshi's clothes, and as a result, she gets too excited and tears Koshi's clothes a lot shorter, causing Koshi to only wear short sleeves and short. After the shower, Koshi doesn't want Kiria to feel guilty about this, so he lies that he is feeling okay. In fact, on such a cold day, Koshi is frozen. Meanwhile, Aetna is cooking a bowl of porridge for Koshi and Minoru brings out a potion she has made to let Koshi drink. Surely, Aetna disagrees and grabs the bottle from Minoru. As Koshi passes by the kitchen, the bottle falls to the ground and explodes, making Koshi's condition worse. Feeling bad, Aetna takes care of Koshi all by herself. Surya thinks that staying in the dormitory will not help and leaves. Aetna tries hard to look after Koshi while recalling the happy times she has shared with Koshi. Thanks to Aetna's determination to look after Koshi, he gets recovered. On New Year's Day, Aetna presents Koshi with her hand-knitted gloves, and everyone else arrives at the door, ready to go with Koshi to buy food for New Year's Eve. And that's it for today's. Hope you guys enjoyed.